Love Stanley Parable. Excited to watch you play it. Well, I have not played it. I remember seeing stuff about it. Hold up, let me just, looks like we're just popping into it. I remember seeing stuff about it, but I never got into it. I just saw it on Steam, so I'm like, hey, let's sounds perfect right now. We played the Stanley Parable before. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. I think it's fine, just halfway. Please enter the current time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure even this matters right now. You popped up on my For You page. We're locked in now, guys. Oh, nice. What's up, Maple Jack? I'm putting in the honest time. Okay, accessibility settings can be accessed from the main menu. I guess figure out what I want as time goes.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
See, I want to like just disobey him the whole time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Guess not. I'm still gonna look around. Everything's so messy. Touch all the doors.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Should I go to the right or the left?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I don't trust you.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Which door? Which door should I go on? Should I go with the story?
And so
Play
he
the
detoured
narrator's
through the
games for
maintenance
now.
section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Oh, damn.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's,
Oh yeah, surely a room
left.
worth admiring. That's what I thought as well. I mean, the break room is there's coffee.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Yo, what? This guy just shut that door on me.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
What is happening here? All I did was go down the elevator. Uh-oh. It's Squid Games.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
What?
Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Alright, we'll follow
All
the
of his co-workers were
directions.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, I went to the first door on the left that time, like he said.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Can I go this way? Did I? No, seriously, you can't jump. Awarded for getting any of the other achievements. I don't even know what that. We'll look at the achievements later.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting
everyone
over
knows
and
what
over
you
again.
did. They're just
But it's got to
holding
be
back
better
to
than
let you
this.
torture yourself.
Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay. Well, wasn't supposed to go that way either.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
You guys ever watch the show Severance?
Yep, it's worse.
Well,
I
now
might be
there's no
remembering this
doors.
wrong. It's possible the story
stop
is
coming to
back
this
where we
room?
just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Yo, this game is wild. Nice. Don't that look like blood? Fried blood. Just saying.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Uh-oh.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Man, I really threw this guy through a loop with my first elevator thing. Oh. Oh, God.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Nice.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
I think you'd also like the game.
No, I don't feel
Facade.
right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay?
Facade.
I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Players act as a dinner guest at a couple's home. Interesting.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Help.
Just follow the line.
Narrator
How
is
simple
an
is that?
idiot. Guess we'll just follow the yellow brick road. Oh, but now we're going to the right. Did it go straight? No, I don't trust him. Well, I don't really have a choice. So follow the yellow line. No mouse. You notice that it's just keyboards, no mouse? What's up with that? Wait. Did I just go in a circle?
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, now if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Not really even like listening.
I
to
think
him,
what we need
like,
right now is a bit of music to lighten
what
the
the
mood.
hell is up with all this? Okay. Where does this guy even work? This is crazy. Don't take the elevator.
Wait, cut the music.
Thank
Go back
God.
and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
All right. Well, it's got green leaves. Yep. Okay. They're green. Okay. All right. Remember that green leaves.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's the name of the game that I bought. Oh. Parable.
Oh, no, not
the
again, Line.
hell?
How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
That's where it led me. I don't know. All
Do you know what,
roads
Stanley?
lead
I
to
say
the...
forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Sure.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild.
It's a never...
Use
I'm just
your
running in a...
imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
No way. Okay. Just running in a square for a little bit there. A circle square.
Oh, no,
Circle
not you
square.
again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Why does they keep saying it TM? What does that mean?
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door
I'm not gonna
that leads
move.
here. And
If he
that in
notices.
turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley. Our destiny awaits.
Guess we're taking the right door.
Oh, hold up. What's this?
I am very
confusion
confused.
ending.
Yes, yes.
You're telling me that's what this is?
That's accurate.
It's all one giant ending?
Huh.
And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or
this
the
is
journey.
taking
Though
forever.
They're always saying
I get
that
it.
life is about the journey
Start the
and not the
game.
destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do...
Thank God.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
You forgot.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace
The
of his
narrator
co-workers.
doesn't get it. He's the ultimate stuck in the loop guy, not me. His memory was just... What did that just say? What did that just say? What the hell did that just say? Hold up. I can actually see it on my phone. I think. Wait. Maybe it didn't say anything. Maybe it did, though. I don't know. I can't see it. It didn't say nothing important. Let's just maybe follow the story this time. I don't really know.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Now I know how to do that ending. Pretty easy, you just go to an elevator and hit down.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Riveting gameplay. We have our new product, graphs about things and money. Target demographic, teenagers. What is hot? Teenagers. Well, that's kind of weird. Happy feelings. Violet, James, you are fired. Oh, whoa. That's the first door I've
Stanley
opened.
stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Don't believe him. Don't believe him, guys. There's something here. Like, why can't I use this wrench?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path
Oh
to
my
follow.
God.
Just an empty broom closet.
Why can't I do this?
No reason to still be here.
Well, yeah, I guess nothing's in here right now.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Red. Can we just appreciate that he said the word riveting? Yes. It's a riveting experience. The narrator said that, right? Do I want to follow the story? I mean, maybe I want to just do this. Honestly. I wonder what that says. I can't really see it. I could probably look later though.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours.
That's
He might
true.
be fired for that.
That's
And in such a
very
competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example,
I'm in a
why
loop.
couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Not looking
Why
down.
did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
So was this like this
After
last
all,
time?
he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin,
Should have grabbed that
the
wrench.
press of the mattress on his
Yeah,
back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
What the?
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
I guess I should have just
She
gone
arose,
up the
got
stairs.
dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
What an ending. What a life. So this, don't go down the stairs. No. The hell just happened?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What
Well,
if he
that
had
just
to make a
happened.
decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility?
I didn't even-
He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
What the hell is going on? Okay, so that was me.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that.
Oh, I could just
No.
right-click and walk.
This couldn't go any way
I don't
except
even have to use
badly.
W.
The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself,
play with
is
your
to
mouse.
wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited.
Alright, so
Hours
don't close
passed,
the door.
then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to.
That's a nice
He will be
field,
told
you know?
what to do. Now it's
I
just
mean,
a
like,
little
literally,
bit
look at that.
closer.
Imagine living on this
Now
countryside
it's
and you have the
even
mountains
closer.
right there.
Here
It's like a
it
2-hour
comes.
drive. You can go like ski or snowboard just two miles away there. Okay, wait a second. What is this? What the hell?
All of his co-workers were gone.
What?
What
This
could
is
it
a whole
mean?
different place.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
But this is a whole different place. What the fuck?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
What is this? Should I go in here? But I don't know how to get back here. Do I just close the door twice and I'll be back here again? Nah. Oh. Not exactly, it's random. Oh, okay, okay. Well, going in there didn't really end the game. Like, that makes me think I'm gonna end the game, but...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well, I just did that, then I went down the stairs. So let's just go up the stairs.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Now if I click, there's a dog. This is so ridiculous. Now it's on forever, you know, like how the hell do I get it off? Whoa, hey, whoa, whoa, now, no, whoa, whoa. Business strategy. You're shooting a panda in the head. That we're against panda violence here. What's this? Whoa, hold up. Let's see what's cracking at the rooftop in the penthouse. Saw the basement. We already saw the basement. No? Yo, this elevator is a facade. Like, what the hell? I don't know. It didn't do anything.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not
Had
an
to regenerate the
indication
blue
of
room
any
and
human
uncheck
life.
the box? Probably.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief
Could be in my
who
settings,
orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
How do I erase that?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination... Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Something interesting happens when
Descending
you
deeper
inch
into the building,
boss's office
Stanley
slowly,
realized he
run
felt
out
a bit
before the
peculiar.
doors close
It was a
behind
stirring
you.
of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I'll have to see if I can give that a try another time. You mean like
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
literally
that
when the
read
door's
Mind
shut,
Control
you just
Facility.
run back out and they shut still?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
We're still
Stanley
here
thought to
no matter
himself.
what. I was just up
Did he
there
have
before.
the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
How come he's calmly explaining to me what all this means here, but when I went in from up there, he didn't? I don't get that.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Why can't I press those, dude? Where's this last button? I got 1, 2, 3, 5. Up there? Can't get up there. Can't get up to that button. Right there. Start pressing 5.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me.
See if this does anything.
What all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
I don't think that did anything.
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it.
What?
I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
That's correct.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you.
Well, I see a
running
bunch of
from button
buttons.
to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
I don't.
Stanley.
What am I
You're in
supposed
for
to
quite a
do, narrator?
disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
I have no idea
This
what
is
I'm
not a
supposed
challenge.
to do.
It's a tragedy. You wanted to
Respect the
control
buttons.
this world,
I
that's
think it's just
fine.
wasting my time.
But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here.
Maybe
Just
nothing
you
will
being
even
blown to
happen.
pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count.
Yep,
Or don't.
those
It's
are all
the
my
same to
ideas,
me,
so
all a
it's
part of the
over,
joke.
GG's.
And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
I have no idea what the hell is going on. So basically I just didn't turn it off and that's what happened.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
Yeah,
mean?
there's no more dog
Stanley
bark.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Did I go to the right again this time? Unless this guy has like a spaz, I don't even get to that far. That part. Yeah, this is different.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes. This room.
Would you look at
What
that?
a beautiful room. What a
Just look at
gorgeous,
it.
gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on it, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yeah, I did that last time and then I went down that.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
The hell are you talking about?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then... Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone?
I did!
Well, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually
I didn't want to answer that
chose incorrectly?
thing.
I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous.
Yes.
For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Wait.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality. almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
What are you, it's just letting me go back?
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Bro, you know he's gonna be so pissed.
No! Why did you do that?
'Cause he knows
Quickly,
I'm a human.
hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
This run, he knows that I'm a human.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Oh, wait. Whoa. Yo, this is the coolest ending so far.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What,
Nice,
did you think that would be funny?
I knew
you
it.
just had to
I knew I could
see.
do it.
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley?
He
actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it?
It has
That
not.
there's a world outside of you.
'Cause I'm a person.
You're a child.
No, I'm a grown man.
My story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make...
Uh-oh.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So does he remember that I'm a person again?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
See, this time it's not.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. exactly as Stanley would.
I guess
That
I don't
means
really
choosing
have a
responsibly
choice.
and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Why can't I open it now?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So what did you say? You said something interesting happens when you inch into the boss's office slowly and run out before the doors close behind you.
Stepping inside
How
his
do you
manager's office, Stanley was
you
once
can't do
again
that.
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in
Scared me.
disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Am I supposed to like be talking into the mic?
Stanley spoke the code. Nightshark
Oh, okay,
115.
because this is the green one.
He spoke it into the
I don't know how I got
receiver,
the green one this
right
time,
there
but
on the wall.
Shark Knight 115.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
How the hell do I do that? It says jump and I press space, but I never jump. You can't talk into the game, can you?
Okay,
Hello.
fine. You're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there.
did.
Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Don't do it, Stanley. Don't do it.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
Wait, what?
Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay.
That was only an hour and 12 minutes. How did I get to like an ending like that? I don't even know what happened. Can you even talk into the mic to do that? I don't see any like mic settings. Let's see, camera control, subtitles, accessibility, toggle walk, reduce motion. Subtitles, narrator, sound effects. There's no way. There's no way.
That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide.
This doesn't have mic options. There's no way.
Take as much time as you need.
Sorry. I don't even know what just happened. Just ended and I'm above.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's see if I can get the red boss room and try it. Get into the red, get into the red, get into the red boss
Yet
room.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided, oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, let's see if I can do it.
Stepping into his manager's office,
God,
Stanley was
I
once
can't
again
do it.
stunned to
How the hell do
discover
you do
not
that?
an indication of any human life. What could it mean?
It goes so fast.
Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just yet incredibly,
that door
by simply
shuts,
pushing
it,
random
like,
buttons on the keypad,
squeak is
Stanley
so
happened
loud.
to input the
It's so
correct
fast,
code
like, I
by
can't
sheer
react.
luck. Amazing.
So just like
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
fast sensitivity too. But how do you even do that? That's crazy. So just like follow the actual story, just do it. It's difficult but worth. Just gotta learn when it actually shuts, because I don't know where it is based on where I'm standing.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
Oh,
that
I've
read
never gone to the
Mind
escape
Control
before.
Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yep. All right. Oh. Okay. Oh, I didn't die.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Excellent question. Excellent question. Are you saying I have to restart the game? Nope, I'm just walking forward. What the hell is this?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
You think this is the real office layout? I mean, it looks like it. Button sounds. A selection of sounds used throughout the game when the buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. The beautiful museum. Office clock.
Push the number 4. Now then,
Kevin's
this
writing,
elevator
the
for
voice
sure
of the
will
narrator
get him
recorded
right
the
back on
dialogue
track
the
to
entire
where he
game
was
roughly
supposed to
3
be in the
separate
story.
times over 2 years of development, so the clips from early takes that are not used in the final game. There's like a secret extra credit thing. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in games Alpha. There's a freedom end. Whoa, what was this? One of the deaths from an early version of the countdown ending. Huh. So the countdown ending probably has something you can actually do. The screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Huh. What the hell am I looking at? The game is now paused. Begin the game again. Resume the game. Do I have to restart the game, or is there somewhere I'm supposed to go to like have the game just restart for me? Because I just feel like I'm in an early museum of cut content and stuff like that. Oh, it says exit right here. Maybe we'll take it.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Brutal, brutal. Alright. That was the get crushed
All
to
of his
death
co-workers
ending.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Not a bad... Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Oh, new content? What does that mean,
Gotta go
new
this way.
content?
Did I see all the content from that side? There's no way. But we'll do this.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable.
Did I see
Ultra
all the
Deluxe.
original content then?
Oh,
There's
well,
no
this
way.
sounds
I
delightful.
just don't think so. I
I'm
mean,
very
I don't
excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
know. Oh, I know I am.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Oh, I bet it is. Why is nothing moving?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been
Wonder why
more
the
ready. Let's do
New
it.
content unlocked then, right? Like, if I didn't. I never even played the whole true ending.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Here we go, everybody. Get your jumping jacks in. We're almost there. 20 left. Keep it going. Feel those legs burn. I see you in the back working hard. Get that sweat going. 5, 4, 3, 2. Good job. Wow. Great content.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
All right. Thank you for enjoying the new content. All right.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
What is Twitter?
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Well, this is a new starting point.
Psst.
Oh,
Stanley,
whoa.
come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Did I do it? Let's do it.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
What the hell? Wow. It's Oblivion
I call
remastered.
it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Wow. So beautiful.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then,
yes.
Video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Just go outside. Don't play for 5 years. Wait, what? It is impossible to get this achievement. Yeah. For me and the wife overlook. Watch the sunset. My name's Stanley. Oh, little Stanley, we miss you, little Stanley. Oh, cute little Stanley. Oh, I miss him. Oh, little Stanley, I miss you.
And over here is where I
this
keep
creepy
reviews of the
shrine in
Stanley
the back of
Parable.
my house.
Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com.
What is
James
going
Stephanie
on?
Sterling
Why-
writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and
Good-looking water.
all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Yeah, and a lot of pictures of their achievement. Stanley named Person of the Year.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
Oh yeah,
The Stanley
is this a
Parable
thing?
is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Alright, why? Wait. Is that what just opened? Oh, is this?
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
It's The Last of Us.
God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
That's what
Surely
I'm playing
these reviews
off
were
of.
glowing as well, weren't they?
Honestly,
I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny.
Might wanna
I'm trying to make a
save
serious
them.
work of art. I suppose I could write up
Save
a
what?
handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable.
Game? Can you save this game?
But the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can
Back
tell me
in
if I'm preachy,
2016,
honestly, you
that's
can.
like almost 10
Oh,
years
goodness.
ago.
This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up.
For the
Here,
Republic!
we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable
what I was
monologue,
just
and it goes something like this.
The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until
How long-
inevitably
how much
we
dialogue do
all
you
until
think
the
they really
end
filled
of
into this
time,
spot?
at which time everything all at once.
Like if I
So
left
now
this
you
and I
see,
went to
blah
bed
blah
and
blah blah
woke
blah
up,
blah
but
blah
you
blah
still
blah
be
blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe
Am I
it,
supposed to
I'd
skip
say it
him
was
again?
perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable
There's no
by
door.
any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
What?
Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've
There's
had
no us.
so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin
Guy
with,
is still
there is
yapping.
only regret.
Do I gotta
There is
click it
only
again?
the turning wheel of missed opportunity.
Stuck forever. Stuck in this room. Like a fire alarm all of a sudden. Yeah.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a
Should I let
world
him
where someone will
ramble
say,
for a
oh,
bit, see
there
what
should be a
happens?"
skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the
This
cruel
guy is
bleakness
going off
inside
right
ourselves.
now.
We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a
He's kind of
resounding...
a psycho. Like, he's just sitting there talking to himself so much. He's so mad. He's not even talking to anybody. Jeez, dude. Get some help.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end,
You just have that
is
on a
never the
loop.
end, is never the
When do I get out of here? Is that from the leak that was over here? Oh my god. Ten out of 10 stream. I gotta head to bed. Well, thanks for stopping by, Maplejack. Have a good night. Appreciate you. We're almost out of here. I don't know. I mean, oh, what happened to the door? Keep skipping, I guess. Freedom! Finally! Yes, we're free. I don't know where we're going, but finally away from there. Or maybe I just click it one more time. Nope. All right.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
New content? What?
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
You better be that new. If it's not, it already seems like it's...
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh! Wow,
Yes,
this is a great
isn't
idea.
this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Yeah, I agree.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Why does it look like a horror film? No? Like a poster for a scary
Now, to
movie.
be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
What? Reassurance bucket.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle?
I did.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
What? Just give me more jumps. Place is huge.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on. For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
I
want
Jim.
you to imagine yourself living as Jim. Sleeping and waking as Jim.
I sell paper.
Falling in love and being heartbroken
Paper
as Jim.
product.
Seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim. And
Go
as
after
Jim,
engaged
watching your
women
dreams
and ruin
crumble
their
into
engagement.
dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then
I am.
please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
Oh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
I am Jim.
Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Tell me what to do.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise,
No.
soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Jim.
I am Jim. I am Jeff. Alright, well, leave this, right? We can leave this place. Where's the
I suppose I
X?
could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Where's the exit? Gotta be this way, right?
Oh, goodness. Stanley, this is very awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to both the exhibits for the bucket and the collectibles. You see, there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves both of them. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the collectibles and the bucket, okay? All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
So look at the bucket. Looking at the bucket, and what does it do?
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
How wonderful. I didn't even think that I was going to be able to take the bucket. I'm just
Does
spamming
anyone
the
give out
buttons.
awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
wants me to go here.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life. God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic. Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Why do I still have this bug?
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet? So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about it.
I don't get what he's trying to show me.
Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags.
And
I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh. Oh, nice. My thing covers it, but it says beginning the game, settings, credits. Go to desktop. I'm gonna go to begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.
This is the
though
regular
he had been
game.
made exactly for this job.
So why did it say it was
Stanley
2?
was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
See?
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company
Now the
had this
balloons are
happened.
actually there.
This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
What bucket? See the bucket anywhere? Oh, right here.
Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Absolutely.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
What did I do when I went this way? I went this way across the platform. He found out I was human, brought me back.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend.
Pressing every
You
button.
can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait,
Now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends, that your relationship is purely superficial and convenient, that your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it. Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
The hell is this guy talking about?
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
How many stickers
You
can I
see,
get?
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Does he have another sticker?
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Alright, I guess that's all.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
We found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Thank you. Think this elevator in here does something? I can't even open it though. Okay, let's see if I can get this to work.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Yes, it will. We're gonna do this finish and then...
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
I'm just gonna follow the story, see what happens.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
Not the bucket.
Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raised furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Is to be filled.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Off.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and...
Wait a second.
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place, not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms, not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room, but at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Wow. So do you save in this game? I don't think so. Well, that was my first playthrough on that. I mean, what, it was like 2 hours. I just gotta go to bed. But I want to play this game again. Anybody who tuned in, thank you, appreciate you. Have a good night.